that was the agreement, and then that was the offer made, and the person who occupied, that house is little later, like after 2 months, right? So here there is no concluded contract. So that is the case between Routledge versus Grant. So A made an offer to B to purchase a house with possession from 25th of July. The offer was followed by an acceptance, right? Suggesting possession from 1st August. So the offer was made for 25th of July. I give you another example as to, supposing a tenant. I, as a tenant, I have a, you have offered me to, to occupy the house this month, right? And, but I'm not willing, and my acceptance in the sense like, I occupy the house after 2 months, right? Then you will ask for what? The rent, right? So give me the rent for this month also, for the next month also. The 1 month delay that I have made, now you have lost money on that, right? So the offer was made, but I did not, abide by it, and so there is no, concluded contract, right? Okay. Now we'll see the second point. Second rule is it must be communicated to the offerer, right? So the communication should be, for example, you are offering me something, right? And if I accept it, I have to communicate it to you, right? Now, if there is no communication, now then you cannot accept that. I cannot assume. Say, for example, an example here. A tells B that he intends to marry C, but he doesn't tell C of his intention. He doesn't tell C of his interest, right? Of his intention to marry, C. Now there is no contract, even if C is willing to marry, right? So even if that person is willing to marry, but still, it was not communicated, right? And another example you can see, and also a case. So that also is a little interesting one, right? If this is something like, for example, uh, you as a seller, like, you are selling a product to me, right? And then maybe you're making an invoice and all that, right? But you forgot to communicate. For example, you put it in your drawer and then you forget about it, right? Thinking that you have already sent, or thinking that you have already mailed, but I didn't, but still it's in the draft, right? You have kept it in the draft, but you have not. So can you, I think, can you please wait for 1 minute? I'll close the door. Yes. So you have, supposing you as a seller, you forgot, to send the mail, right? Here, communication is not complete, right? That is one. For example, now I as an acceptor, I have to, accept your mail. For example, you are sending a mail, and then, it comes to me. Now I as an offeree, second, I as an acceptor, I have to communicate it to you, thinking that I have already communicated. Say, for example, I have kept it in the, draft, and I have not yet communicated to you. Now, what happens here is what? You have not received my mail. You have not received my acceptance, right? Now, here there is no contract, right? Please, 1 minute. Please, 1 minute. Yes, sorry for the disturbance. Right now, I as an acceptor, I have to accept, right, by sending the communication to you as a seller. If not, if I have not sent it, but thinking that I have already sent it, I have put it in the draft and I forgot to send you the email, right? Or I have forgotten to, send it by post. But thinking that I've already sent it, the envelope that the letter that I have prepared, it is still in my, desk. Now that means what? Still the contract is not complete, right? There is no contract. So in acceptance, it has, the communication has to be sent to the offerer, right? It must be communicated to the offerer, right? And see the second example, you can see a draft agreement relating to the supply of coal was sent to the manager of railway company, right, for his acceptance. So the manager wrote approved, but he put the draft in the drawer of his table, intending to send it to the company solicitor for a formal contract to be drawn up. Right now the document is still in his drawer. Hell, there was no contract. So this is between Brompton versus Metropolitan Rail Company. You please make note of some of these case laws, because in the exam they can give you a case. Give an answer. You might be asked to give an answer based on the cases, right? So please make note of it. Right now, the third one I have already explained you in the in the previous class, if you remember. It must be according to the mode prescribed, right? And for example, like if you tell that such and such invoice has to be made in this prescribed format, then I have to prepare it only in the prescribed format that is given by you. If I don't do that, then you will not accept it. One. The second one, if you have not prescribed anything, then I send it and you are also keeping quiet, right? Then it has to be accepted, right? So it must be according to the mode prescribed, right? So this is according to section 7.2, right? And supposing if you don't inform me as an acceptor, offeree, there is, you're not saying like you have not given me any prescribed mode, then I can give the acceptance in any mode, right? Say for example, A makes an offer to B and he says, if you accept the offer, reply by wire. But B sends the reply by post, right? But still it will be a valid, acceptance on the basis of what? Now A has to inform B saying that it has to be according to the mode prescribed by me, right? So again, he has to inform, he has to communicate to B, right? Which means there has to be complete communication between, the two parties, right? The one who offers, the one who accepts it, and then when the acceptance is given, again, the offerer has to acknowledge it and saying that, yes, I have accepted it. Supposing if I don't acknowledge, both of us we are entering into an agreement, right? So I am offering, a product to you, right? And you're willing to accept it, right? You're giving your willingness, right? And finally, and I also prescribe the mode, and then you are sending it, maybe even through the prescribed mode, you are sending it to me. I have to acknowledge it saying that, yes, I have received it. There has to be complete communication, right? If it is not done, then it cannot be accepted as an agreement, right? Now, so the mode which is prescribed by the offerer, the offeree, the acceptor has to abide by it, right? If he is not abiding by it, if he is sending by something else, right, then immediately the offerer has to inform the party saying that it is not according to the prescribed mode. Please send it by the prescribed mode. If he is quiet, then you have to accept it. The offerer has to accept it, right? Now the next one is, it must be given within a reasonable time. Now the acceptance cannot be given any time that I want. No, right? There is a time limit. Say for example, like a discount sale is given, saying that the offer is till maybe today, right? So today is 26th. So the offer is till 26th, right? And 12 noon, maybe the afternoon, right? Now, the offer is given. Now, those who are accepting it, they have to avail the offer exactly today by 12 noon. Say, for example, I come to your store, right, evening at 7 o'clock and asking for the offer. No, you have already said, you are giving it at a discount. Then you will say, go check the time. The date is correct, but then go check the time, right? So it has to be done within the time limit that is prescribed, right? If it goes beyond that, then it cannot be accepted. So this holds good when it comes to a company like offering shares, or even offering a product or service, selling a product or service, or making the payment. Everything, it has to be done within a reasonable time, right? So if the time limit is specified, the acceptance must be given within that time. But if the time is not specified, then the acceptor can take his own time, right? Now, on June 8th, M offered to take shares in our company. He received a letter of acceptance on November 23rd. Now he refuses to take the shares, right? Because the offer was made on June 8th, right? But the letter of acceptance on November 23rd, then he refuses to take the shares. Held, M was entitled to refuse as his offer had lapsed, as the reasonable period during which it could be accepted had elapsed, right? So this is again the case Ramsgate Victoria Hotel Company versus Monfire, right? So now the next rule is it cannot precede an offer. This is logical, right? For example, before even you make an offer, I cannot come and say like, no, I accept your offer. What is the offer that you have made? When did you make? Right? So any acceptance, it cannot precede an offer. Only when the offerer makes an offer, the acceptance can be made, right? So if it precedes, then it is not a contract, right? Now, example, in a company, shares were allotted to a person who had not even applied for them, right? Subsequently, when he applied for shares, he was unaware of the previous allotment. So the allotment of shares previous to the application is invalid, right? Because before even it could be offered, if the acceptance is given, in any case, in any dealings, if the acceptance is given even before the offer could made, then it cannot be considered as a contract, right? The next one is it must show an intention on the part of the accepted to fulfill the terms of the promise. This we have already seen in the offer also, right? There has to be a clear intention of accepting it. So when I accept it, which means I agree to fulfill all the terms and conditions that you have mentioned as an offerer, right? Now, if I don't have an intention of, going through all the terms or abiding by the terms, then it cannot be accepted as an acceptance, right? Simply I tell, yes, I accept it, right? But if I fail to abide by the terms, then you can, claim. You can make a claim for damages or whatever it is, right? And it cannot be considered as an acceptance. So it must show an intention on the part of the acceptor to fulfill the terms of the promise, right? Now, the next one is it must be given by the party or parties to whom the offer is made, right? This is very clear and it is logical also. Supposing you are offering it to me, right? You are offering a product to me, right? The acceptance has to be given only by me, not by my friend. If my friend comes in, gives the acceptance to you, you will refuse it. Straight away you will refuse it, saying that I offered it only to Janet, not to you. Then the friend says, no, I am her friend. Yeah, let it be. But then you will say what? Let her come and get it, right? Let her give her acceptance. That's what you will say. So that is really logical. So if an offer is made to a party, then the acceptance has to be given only by that person or a party, right? Now, then the acceptance should be given before the offer lapses. One example, I gave you, right? Say a particular scheme is given by the bank, and you can, accept it, and you can really claim, that particular scheme, right? And the date is given. Simple example I gave you in the previous one also, right? So the date is given as 26th, right? And office time. For example, the office time is 4 o'clock. Then you go avail the offer, the scheme. You can take the scheme before 4 o'clock. If we fail to do that, and if we go a little later, they will say we are sorry, it is closed, right? So it must be given before the offer lapses or before the offer is withdrawn, right? Then only acceptance will be accepted, will be considered as acceptance. Then it cannot be implied from silence. This we have already seen in offer also, right? We cannot accept a silence as an acceptance, right? So when an offer is made and you are silent on that, you have not given any reply, then I cannot take your silence as, yeah, I think he has accepted it. No, it is only an assumption that I make, right? Unless you tell, for example, if you don't get any reply from me, take it as yes, take it as my acceptance. So if you have communicated like that as an acceptor, then I can accept it, right? So I offer a product to you and you're silent, you're not replying it. And if you have already told me that please accept it, if I have not replied, please take it as my acceptance, then I will accept it. Otherwise I cannot accept it, right? So mere silence is not at all an acceptance. It cannot be considered. And legally, when it comes to an issue, any issue, then they cannot go to the court and ask for claim, right? So there is no legal binding when there is a silence. So it cannot be implied from silence, right? So these are all some of the major rules for acceptance, right? Now we have seen what is offer and what is acceptance. There are two more points. We will see that and we will close now. Acceptance is subject to contract, right? Acceptance subject to contract. So when an offer is made by an offerer, right? So that is subject to contract or subject to formal contract or subject to contract to be approved by solicitors, right? Now this means when you say subject to contract, this means it is in the process, right? Say for example, like you are a builder, right? And I want to buy the house from you. Then we are negotiating, right? Now you have made an offer. I come to you, I ask for the price quote, right? I come and see the place, right? And then just because I come and see the place and all that, you cannot consider it as an acceptance. It is still in the process, right? And then again, I ask for some more reduction in price. Then you are waiting and then you are saying something. Now still the contract is not yet over, right? And if I write to you and say like, no, I will accept it, for this price, whatever you have quoted, I have reduced it and I'm saying like, no, I will accept it. Now that means it is still in the process or it is still in the negotiation process, right? This is not a formal contract. We have not yet made a formal contract and signed by us. You as a builder and I as a customer, I have not yet become your customer, right? Until I have accepted your offer, right? And you have accepted the price that I have, maybe I have asked for, requested you for. Then you send a communication saying that, yes, we will accept. And then we sit and make a contract between us. The documents are prepared for the price that is negotiated and accepted, right? So here is the offer made and the acceptor has accepted and communicated and the offerer also has accepted it, right? And then prepares a final contract. Now, until that formal contract is made, it cannot be considered as acceptance, right? So always when it comes to acceptance, it is subject to the contract, right? So when an offeree accept, for example, I accept your offer, right? But still I can negotiate. I'm still negotiating the price, right? And then maybe I can word it and in the business dealings, we will find this. subject to contract, subject to formal contract, right? So when I say as an acceptor, subject to contract, that means we are still negotiating. Please don't take it as acceptance. We are negotiating on the price. We are negotiating on the terms and conditions. You please wait. That's what I'm trying to say. So you as an offerer, you cannot consider it as an acceptance, right? So we need to be very careful with the terms that are used. So in any case, when an offeree, right, before accepting it, if he says subject to contract, then the offerer cannot take it as an acceptance. He has to wait till the negotiation gets over and then prepare the final contract, formal contract, right? Now, the next term is agreement to agree in future. So will you take it as a, acceptance? For example, like, say for example, the land is there, you are the builder, right? I have not yet seen the building, right? And, but we will do it in future. I will see it only in future, right? Or for example, like a particular, as an exporter and importer, right? Now, the dealings can go on. For example, the payment, dealings and all that, right? It is for future, right? Supposing I, as an importer, I say like, I will agree in future, right? Not for now, not now. So can it, be accepted as an agreement? So if the parties have not agreed upon the terms, right? But they have made an agreement to agree in future, there is no contract. Say, for example, both of us are saying that we will see tomorrow. We will agree tomorrow, right? I am saying like, no, I will accept it tomorrow. No, you cannot consider it as an acceptance. You have offered it. I am an offering, right? But I have not given my consent. I have not yet given my, acceptance today. But I am making a promise saying that I will agree it in future, right? Now you cannot take it as an acceptance. There is no contract, right? So which means any agreement, before it gets finally settled, right, they have to abide by all the terms, right? All the terms and conditions, right? And only in that case it can be accepted as an agreement and acceptance, right? Just because I say, or any party says like, I will agree it in future, we will see in future, then it is not a contract. It cannot be accepted as an acceptance, right? Now, these are all some of the, legal rules or the key elements, right? Essentials for an acceptance to be considered as an acceptance, right? So now you must be clear. I think even in your assignment, I have given some of the cases, in offer, right? And so we have seen what is an offer, what constitutes an offer, what are the legal rules for an offer, what is acceptance, and what are the legal rules for acceptance, right? So all this we have seen. Now in this, there is still one more thing that we need to understand. What is it? We've seen about offer, we have seen about acceptance, right? But it is still incomplete in this, agreement. It is still incomplete. There is something that we need to learn. What is it? Can you guess? I'm an offerer. Okay, I'm offering you a product, right? And you're giving your acceptance, right? But still there is, it is incomplete. There is something that we need to learn. What is it? There's one term. Can you just guess? Agreement or contract. If an agreement has to be complete, there is one more thing that we need to talk about, right? What is it? Okay, agreement, contract.
Enforceability by law.
Enforceability by law. That is key element, yes. Price. Okay. Let's take it not necessarily as money. It can be in kind, right? Yes, consideration. Good. So consideration we'll see tomorrow, right? We will see tomorrow. So then only it is complete. So offer is made, acceptance is given, but we need to talk about consideration. What is the without consideration there is no contract, right? One thing we need to understand, because it's not gift always, it is not a donation always, right? An offerer is making an offer, acceptor is given his or her acceptance, but not, it's not free, it's not free, right? So there has to be a consideration, either in money, or it can be in service, or it can be it can be in any form, but there has to be a consideration, right? So we will talk about it, discuss it tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, do I have your class tomorrow? No? Yes, no? Fifth day order. Okay, maybe in the next class, right? But tomorrow I have, please listen. Please listen. I want to give two instructions. No class, sir. Okay, then that means afternoon class. Now, afternoon class, wait, I'll stop sharing. Yes. Now, listen, afternoon class, again, please mark your attendance. I will schedule your attendance, and please